What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the SB Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your pal Alan, and we're going to have a little bit of fun today. Um, I like to have fun with fantasy football a little bit, do some different kinds of drafts, um, use some different draft strategies, things like that, and see, do these draft strategies work? Do they not work? Who knows? We don't know, right? Until you put them into effect and you actually try them and use them, you don't know. So today and I'm going to have a little bit of fun with this one. I'm not typically really using a draft strategy. What I'm doing is I am drafting a kicker and a defense first, and I'm going to see if I can win my league. So we're going to go ahead and pull up. I've joined a Yahoo league, and I've got the sixth pick. This draft starts in like 3 minutes. Kill that. It's going to be starting here in 3 minutes. I'm going with the sixth pick. I'm going to draft my kicker first. Then we'll go with the defense, and then we'll draft the rest, and we'll see how it goes. Um, and I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to go with a homer pick. Hey, good night. I'm going with a homer pick on this, and the kicker I'm going to select, just to tell you right off the bat, is a guy I'm excited about this year, and I'm going with Jake Bates out of Detroit. He's going to be a rookie this year. We'll see how he does, but he's been ice cold or not ice cold, but ice in his veins during the preseason. He was great in the USFL. Um, I think he's going to be good, so I'm going to draft him. That's good. That's going to be the first player that I'm going to take on the board is with my sixth pick. We'll go ahead and queue him up, and then let's go ahead and take a look at defenses. I can have my pick of the litter. I can take any defense I want. I think I'm just going to go ahead and go with. I mean, I'm debating between San Francisco and Baltimore. Between the two, both great options, great picks. Um, that's kind of their projected stats for this year. Last year, I mean, Baltimore was by far the best defense. Dallas was real good too. I don't think Dallas will be this year. You know what? We're going to go with Baltimore. So that's going to be our first two picks. And then once we get through the first two picks, we'll see what we got. You know, we'll get receivers, running backs. We'll just kind of fill in from there. This would be kind of almost zero RB style, right? For those people who follow that zero RB strategy, I'm not going to miss out on any running backs. It's the wide receivers, right? Wide receivers, um, maybe a couple. It's just going to be receivers I'm going to miss out on, really, because that's what I'm going to take. This is a PPR format, 10-team league in Yahoo, just a Yahoo public league that I just joined, and we'll see how we do. Last year, I made the playoffs, did not win. Lost in the first round of the playoffs last year with the team. This year, I'm more optimistic. I've done this before, so I feel like getting a year in will help me out with that. We'll see. Draft starting here in 20 seconds. We'll get this going. Looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Um, it's just something I don't know, just something to have some fun with. I will go live on a weekly basis as I set my lineup for this. And here we go. Draft is getting ready to start. Four, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And we'll see how the draft goes. Um, let's see. Do we have? Let's go ahead. We're just going to go to all players because I got my picks queued up right here. We're waiting for the first pick to go off the board. I mean, it's probably going to be CMC, right? It looks like they're probably auto drafting. Who knows? But I will go live on a weekly basis as I am going through and setting my lineup as I'm looking at making moves, making changes. I'll update you guys and we'll see how it goes. CMC Tyreek Hill off the board. We'll see who goes next. Is he going CeeDee Lamb? Is he going Breece Hall? Bijan Robinson? I've heard a lot of people here lately talking that Bijan Robinson is their 1-1. Is who they're taking first overall. And we got Bijan right there, third pick. My turn is next. Breece Hall off the board. Jonathan Taylor, and we're drafting. Boom! I said I was going to do it. Kicker first. Next up, defense. Baltimore defense. And then that's when we start to have fun. That's when we start to see, okay, how are we going to fill out this roster going from here on out? Typically, those are my last two picks. CeeDee Lamb's off the board now, are my kicker and my defense. I'll draft a defense for this is there's 15 rounds. In this I would typically draft my defense with the 14th pick and my kicker in the last round. I'm flipping them around. I'm going kicker, Jake Bates off the board. Next up, Baltimore defense. I feel like I can really still build a nice roster. We just had Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown off the board, Jamar Chase off the board in the 10 pick. We got 4 picks until our turn for us to draft the Baltimore defense. That's right, Baltimore defense. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Let me know as you guys are coming in here. And once we have it, I'll be able to kind of take a look and see, okay, hey, here's the guys are saying they're going to be available around my pick. And we'll start to workshop it as we're waiting for the picks to come in. We're at the 11th pick, waiting for this pick. Is he going? He just took Jamar Chase. We're getting him on a turn, right? Is he go A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Puka's already hurt. You go Saquon Barkley. So he goes wide receiver, running back. A.J. Brown still on the board, Garrett Wilson, Puka. Those are your top 3 players available right now. So let's see where these guys go. Hope everyone's having a good night. I just like to have fun with fantasy football, right? Let's have a little bit of fun. Let's mix things up. We got 2 picks until our turn. Derrick Henry was just taken off the board. I feel like that's pretty high for Derrick Henry at the 12th pick. I really do. That feels really high for him. And it's our turn. And like I said, Baltimore off the board. Baltimore defense is now off the board. Garrett Wilson off the board next. Let's see here. All right, so we can kind of start looking and planning our next move. We're looking at like a Chris Olave, maybe a Drake London. I would be psyched to get Drake London. Devin Achane, Cooper Kupp, Travis Kelce, Nico Collins, Sam Laporta. Really feel like Sam Laporta is going to have a really good year this year. He does have that questionable tag on him. Let's see if we can see what's going on with Laporta right now. I was looking for encore from his rookie year. It's dealing with a hamstring issue. So Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua off the board. We've got 7 picks until our turn. Gonna see who falls to us. 6 picks left. Olave, Brandon Ayuk, Drake London still there. Devin Achane, Marvin Harrison Jr. is off the board. Kyren Williams off the board as well too. Oof. That seems high. I'm not big on Kyren Williams this year. I just don't know. I don't know about that one. Sam Laporta off the board. That's someone I would have really loved to have had. I think Laporta is going to have another monster year this year. Pacheco, Evans, Travis Etienne, Drake London still on the board. Pacheco's off the board now. Man, let's see here. Travis Etienne off the board. We got 2 picks until our turn. Okay, we're up. Drake London. I really feel like Drake London's going to have a big year this year. Mike Evans is another guy that I really, really love. Coming down between the two, I mean, Mike Evans definitely is looking. He had a way better year last year, but this year's going to be different. It really is. Give me Drake London. I'm real. I think he's going to have a monster year this year. So let's see what we get with Drake London. I'm happy with that. I feel like he kind of fell to me there at the 26th pick. I like that. Josh Jacobs, I'm not excited about him at all this year. DJ Moore, Not bad. Nico Collins. Let's see here. Mike Evans just goes off the board now at the 28. Your top of your board is Brandon Ayuk, Devin Achane, Cooper Kupp. Josh Jacobs is off the board. That's fine with me. I'm not really excited about him at all this year, so he can go. Cooper Kupp. Man, Cooper Kupp's been going really low, and if he comes back to form, just watch out. Nico Collins, DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, Michael Pittman's still there, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith. I mean, the quarterbacks. I don't have to worry about quarterbacks. Joe Mixon is down here, wide receiver Rashid White, James Cook, Anthony Richardson, Stephon Diggs. There's still tons of good players on the board. Devin Achane is off the board now. And for those of you just joining, again, I'm going with I drafted a kicker, then a defense, and then we just drafted Drake London. Pat Mahomes is off the board now. Your first quarter, actually, Josh Allen went off a while ago. We're having a little bit of a run on quarterbacks here, which I am definitely okay with. Jalen Hurts off the board. So I got my choice here: Brandon Ayuk or Deebo Samuel. Man, that's a nice predicament to be in. You don't really know what's going on with Brandon Ayuk. I really love Deebo Samuel. Um, projections this year are pretty good. Just kind of look at last year. I mean, they're both right there at the same. You don't know where Brandon Ayuk's gonna end up or what he's gonna do. Let's go with Deebo Samuel. Is who we're gonna go ahead and take. And a nice core wide receivers with Drake London and Deebo Samuel to go. Love that start. I think we got to kind of start looking at some running backs now. When we look at running backs, let's just go ahead and just look at the running backs. Who do we have on the board? Rashid White, James Cook, Kenneth Walker, Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones, David Montgomery's a guy I really like. I think he's going to be he's probably going to get another 1,000 yards this year. I really feel like they're really going to do a good job at splitting those two, as well as the touchdowns. I mean, I think he's going to get you a lot of touchdowns. Joe Burrow, Brandon Ayuk off the board, Rondale Moore, or Ramondre Stevenson, James Conner. I'm not big on him this year. Raheem Mostert, I don't know. Najee Harris, Amir White, DeAndre Swift. I'm down on big time this year. So yeah, I feel like we got to start looking at these running backs. Let's go back up here to the top of the board. I like Rashid White this year. I think he should have a pretty good year, as well as James Cook. I think those are two guys that will have a pretty solid year. Lamar Jackson's off the board, DK Metcalf. We got 5 picks until our turn, guys. Looking to see what running backs are going to be available for us coming up here in the 5th round, as we're looking in the 5th round to draft our next guy. Let's just kind of take a look. What tight ends do we still have? Mark Andrews is still on the board. He does have that questionable mark. What's going on with Mark Andrews? He looks like he's dealing with very minor thing. Okay. Michael Pittman Jr. off the board. Trey McBride off the board. So we still have Mark Andrews, George Kittle, Dalton Kincaid. I mean, there's still plenty of who I feel like are good tight ends left on the board. I really do. I really want to take a look at this running back room and seeing Rashid White, James Cook, Walker, Alvin Kamara. Okay, so Rashid White goes off the board. So I think that James Cook I think is a good pick here in the round. I like James Cook. I think James Cook's a hell of a player. So I think I want to look at David Montgomery for the next round. I'm going to go ahead and get Montgomery queued up. Should fall to us. Well, we got a little bit of running with CJ Stroud's off the board. Alvin Kamara. We got 6 picks until our turn. Dave Montgomery's one of the top 3 running backs on the board. We'll see if he comes down to us. Kenneth Walker's off the board, so it looks like we do have a bit of a running back run going here. I wouldn't mind Ramondre Stevenson. I like Ramondre. We'll go ahead and add him to our queue, and just kind of see who falls to us. I feel like one of those two hopefully should fall to us. 5 picks left. So we'll see where we go with this. I think after this, I might start to look at the tight end. Although let's take a look at some of these running back. Okay, Mark Andrews is off the board. We still have some pretty decent quarterbacks here: Anthony Richardson, Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, Jordan Love, Jane Daniel, Brock Purdy, Jared Goff is a guy that I absolutely love this year. Tua, he goes really low, and that's a guy who's going to get you a ton of production. I mean, over 4,000. Yeah, that's wait. Let's look at that's last year's or this year's 4,600 yards last year and 29 touchdowns. That's monster. That's really freaking good. No, I don't want to unlock that. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of quarterbacks left, so I'm not really stressing about a quarterback. Tight end wise, I think I might target a Kyle Pitts. That means it's going to be doubling up on Drake London and Kyle Pitts, but with Kirk Cousins there, I feel okay with that. I like that. Dave Montgomery is now off the board. 2 picks before I was supposed to go. We need to start looking at some more running backs because if Stevenson goes off the board, who are we going to take? I'm not a big fan of Aaron Jones this year. James Conner, no. Raheem Mostert, no. Najee Harris, no. Zamir White. I mean, I don't like my options after that. So hopefully they don't take. Okay, Ramondre is still on the board. Kyle Pitts was taken off the board. That was a guy that we really wanted. I really wanted to take. Was hoping to get him in the next round, but he's not there. So that gives us a backfield of James Cook and Ramondre Stevenson. I'm okay with that. A guy that I'd be looking at for a third running back, Gus Edwards. I'm hearing some good things about Gus Edwards out there. I don't know. You know what? No, I don't want to queue him up for a third running back. Okay, let's start looking at. Okay, I'm not ready to take a QB yet. Let's look just kind of flex wise, uh, and see who's here. DJ Moore is still sitting here. An ADP of 40, and he's still sitting here. We got 5 picks before our turn. If DJ Moore is still there, and I get him in the 6th round, 7th round, I'm sorry, that would be insane. We got 4 picks before we're up. There's no way DJ Moore is still sitting here. There's no way. I don't understand what's up with the DJ Moore falling so much. Stephon Diggs, I get. He's a problem. Okay, there goes DJ Moore. Okay, man, I guess I should have been looking because I would have definitely taken him earlier. Evan Ingram's off the board. Keenan Allen's still there. Jane Daniel, Roman. All the Chicago wide receivers were still there. Christian Watson's a guy that I really like this year. We're up next. Who do we got tight end wise left? Jake Ferguson, David Njoku, Dallas Goedert, Brock Bowers, Dalton Schultz, Pratt Freiermuth, Cole Kmet, TJ Hawkinson. You know what? I like Isaiah Likely this year too. He's more so like a handcuff guy. But you know what? There's no one for Dak to throw the ball to. Let's take Jake Ferguson. Take really over his ADP, but he's the best available tight end. I feel like I should try and do something to make sure I've got my starters good. Let's look at our so Tank Dell's out here. He's a good possibility for next round. Scary Terry is going to be the number 1 guy there in Washington, right? T. Higgins. I don't know about Rashee Rice. I'm kind of letting other people take him. Najee Harris, I'm not a big fan of. Raheem Mostert, I mean, that guy had 18 touchdowns last year. 21 total overall, but 18 rushing touchdowns. Man, does he completely disappear off the face of the earth this year? I don't know that he does. Calvin Ridley's still there, but the problem with Calvin Ridley is Will Levis is throwing to him. So that's definitely a mark against him. Christian Watson's going really late, and that's a guy that I feel like is got a lot of potential this year, as well as Hollywood. He's got Pat Mahomes throwing to him now. Now Hollywood he's got some injury issues already, right? He is dealing with what is he dealing with right now? To miss up to 6 weeks with a shoulder, 4 to 6 weeks. He's going to miss the start of the year, so that's someone I feel like you can really take really really late. Um, Chase Brown's a guy that I kind of like. Xavier Worthy, another guy uh, looking to be that speedster there. Raheem Mostert's off the board now, so we don't have to worry about possibly taking him. Jonathan Brooks is a guy that I'll target later in the draft uh, for someone for later. He's not going to start the year, obviously, or maybe I don't think he's supposed to. He's probably going to miss sometime at the beginning of the year, but it'll be someone that I can use later in the season. I like Jordan Addison for sure. Jameson Williams is a guy that I am targeting, and I will go and get at a certain point in time. So we're looking for our flex position here. I mean, Tank Dell, 47 receptions last year, 709 yards. You got a really crowded wide receiver room there. I just don't know about Deontay Johnson. Tank Dell's off the board now, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay, we're up. Man, I don't know that I like my options there. Samir White might be pretty good. Um, did pretty good towards the end of the year last year. Jalen Warren's a guy that I like. Uh, man, so I'm looking through here. I don't really, you know what? We'll go with Zamir White. He should be the starter there uh, with Vegas. No, we're not. Wide receiver, running back, Christian Kirk. All right, I don't know. You know what? Let's draft Keenan Allen here. Keenan Allen in my flex. I'm okay with that. I'm all right. I don't know. I don't know, man. Maybe I shouldn't have went somewhere else with that. I just like Keenan Allen. He's a guy that I always like having on my team. I might draft someone next round who will probably be better than him. Let's look at the quarterbacks. Kyler, Dak, Jordan Love, Jaden Daniels, Brock. I mean, I'm probably targeting Jared Goff, guys. Just to be honest with you, I love golf. I love him. Um, I'm a Lions fan. No secret. Um, with see, Zamir White's off the board now. Oh well. 4,500 yards last year, 30 touchdowns. Passing, he had 2 rushing touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Had himself a year. A year. Let me tell you, I'm not a big Kyler fan. Dak. I mean, for the draft position, they're going to have to throw the ball a lot in Dallas, but you still haven't signed CD, so I don't know. Is Jordan Love going to repeat last year? We'll see. I'm not a big. Uh, Nope, well, he's off the board, so I don't have to worry about that. Tua's off the board as well. It's another guy that I like that I always draft late. So I think I'm going to end up going with a Jared Goff. Um, Now whether I draft, I mean his ADP is 104, so I probably got a while before I have to worry about that. Um, I didn't take Mike Evans earlier. So if Chris Godwin is still there, he's a good option. Calvin Ridley, Tony Pollard's going to be a starter out there in Tennessee. And just having a starter, and it's a year after a big injury for him. So let's just go ahead and cue him up. I would not mind. I wouldn't be excited about him, but I wouldn't mind. And Tony Bollard's off the board, so we don't have to worry about that. Kyler Murray goes off the board. So where are we at with quarterback wise? Dak Prescott, Jane Daniels, Brock Purdy, and Jared Goff. I may I want to try and hold off another round before I take Goff. I mean, because Trevor Lawrence is still there, Kirk Cousins, Matt Stafford, Justin Herbert. Yeah, I think I'm going to hold off. I think Justin Herbert's going to have himself a monster year this year. I really do. Let's work on getting ourselves a third or running back. Do we go to Javonte Williams? Not Brian Robinson, not Tajay Spears. The Devin Singletary is going to be the guy there. Zach Moss, Chase Brown, Eckler. Jerome Ford's going to be the guy at the beginning of the year because, who knows when Nick Chubb's going to be coming back. Blake Corum's a guy I like to get a little bit later. Let's go with Javonte Williams. Yeah. I'm okay with that. Not super excited about it. It's not a sexy pick, but it's a pick. Chris Godwin's off the board. So we got a decent amount of bench players left to go as we just drafted our first one in Javonte Williams. We already got our defense. We already got a kicker. Keenan Allen, Jake Ferguson, Ramondre Stevenson, James Cook, Deebo Samuel, Drake London. I'm feeling pretty good. Justin Tucker goes off the board, guys. So people are starting to draft the kickers. You're late on him though. Already got Legatron. Jake Bates for the Lions. Legatron. Brandon Aubrey off the board. So we're starting to get. We're in the 9th round, and kickers are just going crazy. Going crazy. The 9th round. Typically, I wouldn't even be sniffing a kicker. Let's see what we got here. We're waiting for the last pick in the 9th round. We got 5 more picks to go before it's our turn. I don't really feel the pressure to take off because there's a lot of guys underneath him that I think are really good. Brian Robinson's off the board with Trevor Lawrence, Kirk Cousins, Matt Stafford, Justin Herbert. I mean, just to name 4 guys that I really like. Those are 4 guys that I have no problem having any of those guys. I have Taysom Hill listed as a QB. That's interesting. Do they have him listed as a tight end as well? Or is he just listed as a QB? Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, they don't have him listed as a tight end this year with Yahoo. Wow. Because Taysom Hill's a guy that I like to get and put in that tight end spot. He's a boomer bust guy. Devin Singletary was a guy I was going to be looking at to add. Okay. Let's see here. David Njoku. I think we got to look at a running back. We got Javonte. I kind of like Chase Brown this year. You know what? There's still a few guys around. Who do we got wide receiver wise? Deontay Johnson, Jalen Reed, Rome Odunze, Jackson. You know what? No. Let's just look at all players. Rome Odunze, Tajay Spears, Brock Purdy, Jackson Smith, Zach Moss. I mean, is Zach Moss going to be the starter out there? Where is he penciled in at right now? It was sick. I don't know. I kind of like Christian Watson here. Xavier Worthy's still there. Austin Eckler, Jonathan Brooks, Jordan Addison. I mean, there's still really good players. Crap. Christian Watson. Second left, we get the Christian Watson pick in. There we go. I'm talking too much and I'm overthinking things, but I do like Christian Watson this year. He's a guy who's been dealing with some injuries, but when he's healthy, he's shown he's a number 1 wide receiver. I think he could very well be that number 1 guy there with Green Bay. 100%. All right, guys. So we got 8 more picks till our next round. We're going to be in the 11th round then. I'm feeling good about this team that I've got so far. I think I'm just going to win it all. Let's go ahead and say it. There's still a lot of quarterbacks left, so I'm not concerned about quarterback at all. Not the least bit. Especially when I think Justin Herbert is a guy who could be a top 5 guy this year with Harbaugh there now. He's great with quarterbacks. Um, he's gonna be working with a whole new batch of receivers. Really, I really like Justin Herbert this year. This is a guy that I've drafted a little bit higher in some mocks that I've done. But you don't need to. I don't need to draft him high. It's just interesting with the way that this is going because I want to get 2 really good quarterbacks late in this draft. Late in this draft. So let's start looking at some running back. I need to take a running back next round. Now, am I going to go with Zach Moss or Chase Brown? I don't know. Um, I'd be curious to see what the depth chart is right now with the Bengals. Let's try and pull it up as I'm sitting here. Bengals depth chart. And right now, they got Zach Moss and then Chase Brown. Chase Brown's the young guy. Zach Moss is a guy that's been around the league for a while. PPR, I like him PPR wise, that's for sure. Um, man, I don't know which route to go. Maybe someone will make that choice for me. How about that? Someone just needs to come in here and make that selection for me. Take Zach Moss or Chase Brown, and then I don't have to worry about which guy I'm going to take. That's what I like. I want someone to make the choice for me. Let's look at wide receivers. Deontay Johnson is still here. Jackson Smith and Jigba is a guy that I think is going to have a better year this year. Tyler Lockett's kind of starting to be on that decline. Um, Jackson Smith might be a really good pick. Hollywood, he's going to miss some time. Xavier Worthy, I think he's gonna be that deep threat guy. Dude's fast as can be. I like him there. Jordan Addison's still there. I think Jordan Addison's going to have himself another good year this year. Um, he had 10 touchdowns last year, 900 yards. I think he might be able to pencil him in for 1,000. Jameson Williams is still there. That's a guy that I will be drafting here in a little bit. His ADP is 126. There's still a lot of guys kind of here. I might end up taking him early just to make sure I get him. Sometimes if you got guys that you want, you just got to go and get them, right? Just go out there, pick your guy, and make sure that you have him. And he's looked great in training camp. You're hearing a lot of good things about him out of training camp right now. I really like, you know what? No, I haven't talked myself into taking him this round. I still need to go with a running back, and Zach Moss and Chase Brown are still there. Exactly. Jonathan Brooks is a guy that, again, I like getting him a little bit later. Zeke's going to be the guy. Jerome Ford is going to be the guy at the beginning of the year, is he not? Until Nick Chubb comes back. Nick Chubb is back, then Ford would go back to the bench, but Ford generally did a good job. While leading the Browns in running back snaps following Chubb's injury, Ford's fantasy output would have been much more noteworthy if Kareem Hunt had poached 9 rushing touchdowns. Yeah, Hunt's currently a free agent, but Ford will have to hold off 2 new challengers, Naheem Hines, and but Deontay Foreman, I'm not really worried about. Jerome Ford could be pretty darn good, although I mean, Nick Chubb's still sitting there, went down week 2. Are we hearing anything? Probably should be as a bench stash, help out November, December. Okay. Man, as I sit here and I talk about this, maybe Jerome Ford. I don't know, man. Let's see what happens here over the next few picks. We got 3 picks, soon to be. We got 2 picks until our turn. Is Sanders just went off the board? Kicker Miami. I don't think anyone's going to make this choice any easier for me. Roma Dunze is off the board now. Zach Moss, Chase Brown are still here. I think I'm going to go Jerome Ford, though. Gus Edwards was just taken. It's a little early for Jerome Ford. You know what? We're going to take Zach Moss, and then we're going to go Jerome Ford next round. How about that? How about that? Let's go ahead and queue them up. And so right now on our bench, we got 2 running backs and a wide receiver. We're going to draft 1 more running back and a wide receiver because we do, and that will put us with 3 outside of starters. Counting, Jerome Ford's gone. Brock Purdy's gone. Okay, do we want a guy to stash? Jared Goff. Oh, someone took Goff away from me too. Man, oh man. There's plenty of chance he ends up being the best running back from this class. Man, Trey Benson. I like Trey Benson. Deontay Johnson finally goes off the board. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and take my guy at wide receiver right now. As people are starting to go, I want to make sure that I get Damo. So we're going to draft Jameson Williams this next round. Slightly above his ADP, as his ADP sitting at 126. We're going to go ahead and take him at 115. I just want to get my guy. That's all there is to it. I want my guy. Cortland Sutton's off the board. Let's see who we got here. We got 2 picks until our turn. Let's see who we get. I mean, I'm going to take JMO or I'm going to take Trey Benson. Hopefully it's JMO, and then I can get Trey Benson in the next round, and then we're going to go pack-to-pack quarterback for our last 2 picks. We're going to get our starter, and we're going to get a bench quarterback. And I'm going to go ahead and start looking at the quarterbacks right now. I mean, the guys that we're looking at are Stafford and Herbert. Different bye weeks, which, if you're drafting 2 quarterbacks, you got to make sure they have different bye weeks. Week 5, week 6, yeah. Those are the guys that I want. Justin Herbert is dealing with the plantar fasciitis. He says he's looking good, though. I'm okay with it. I'm okay. Jackson Smith and Jigba's off the board. Okay, here we go. We got James. We're going to go ahead and draft him. Jordan Addison just went before him. Another guy that I really like. Looking for him to have himself another solid year this year. More reps with, hopefully, you don't have Justin Jefferson getting hurt again. You do have Sam Darnold throwing the ball over there, but Sam Darnold hasn't had 2 receivers like Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. He's never had a wide receiver like Justin Jefferson to throw to either. Caleb Williams is off the board. See, Caleb Williams is going before Stafford. He's going before Herbert. It's insane. Jane Daniels goes. Oh, man, yeah, I feel if I'm able to get Stafford and Herbert with my last 2 picks, I think that's just kind of insane. I really do. Philly defense is off the board. Stafford's sitting in an ADP of 129, and Herbert's at 120 something or another. I can't see what it says. 125. So do I take one of them next? Chase Brown finally goes off the board. That was a guy I was debating on taking a few rounds ago. With the ADP looking right now, and Stafford and Herbert still being here. What do I go with here? Do I start to take my quarterbacks? Do I make sure that I get this running back that I will Trey Benson? I mean, because if I don't get Trey Benson, I'm okay. I think. I'm going to go ahead. We'll go ahead and draft Stafford next, as he's just got the higher ADP, right? Well, you know what? I think Herbert's going to have a better year. So Xavier Worthy's off the board. We're going to draft Justin. in the 13th round. Can you imagine, like, a couple of years ago, be like, "Hey, I'm gonna draft Justin Herbert in the 13th round." The 13th round, Justin Herbert. Never would have imagined that. Nick Chubb was a guy that I was thinking might have fallen, all right? If Trey Benson was taken, I would have been okay taking Nick Chubb and just stashing him on my bench. Um, but I don't have to worry about that now. That option's been taken away from me. So I'm gonna look at taking Stafford with his next round, and then or do I take Trey Benson? Hmm. What do I do? Not sure. Who else do we have quarterback wise? Trevor Lawrence is still here. Kirk Cousins is still here. Aaron Rodgers is still there. How Aaron Rodgers has fallen. Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield. I mean, those are all guys that I feel like can have a pretty good year. And if I'm taking him as a backup, I'm okay with it. So I think we're going to take Trey Benson next, guys. Um, and then look to make Matt Stafford our last pick. Matt Stafford in the 15th round. Oh, I just don't. The way quarterbacks have been going, I don't understand. I really don't. Um, but I'm okay with that. I am perfectly okay with not understanding it. I mean, Zeke's still sitting here, and he's going to be a starter, and he's going to be a touchdown. I think he's going to be a touchdown machine guy. He's going to vulture a bunch of touchdowns. Blake Corum's another guy that I like. Um, I think he's going to end up taking over for Kyron Williams at some point in time. But I think the pick here is Trey Benson, especially getting him at what? If I get him at 135, he's got an ADP of 117. That's crazy. That really is. I really feel good about this team. I really do. Like this is a championship team right here. I don't know. Oh, we'll see. I enjoy doing fun bits like this, things like this, because it's just it's fun, right? Let's have some fun with it. Let's see how we do. Again, I will go live on a weekly basis as I set lineups, and this will be one of the ones that I'll be setting on a weekly basis and giving you recaps and going over how I did in the previous week. Did I make all the right moves? Did I make all the right choices? Yeah, we'll see. Justin Herbert, Drake London, Debo Samuel, James Cook, Ramondre Stevenson, Jake Ferguson, Keenan Allen, Jake Bates, and the Baltimore defense. Legatron, as they are starting to call him there in Detroit. The kid just has ice in his veins. I love him. Love him. I wouldn't mind taking Jonathan Brooks if someone takes Trey Benson, because again, he's a guy I can stash for a little bit later. Coming off of that knee injury, we'll see how he does. Um, I think he will be a starter once he gets in there, right? We'll see. McConkey taken. That's you know what? That could be the guy for it. Trey Benson was just taken. Okay. So and I want to get my guy. Let's go ahead and draft Stafford. And then we'll take a look at the running backs and figure out who's the last running back that we're gonna take. We got Javonte Williams sitting here, Zach Moss. Those are two of our running backs that we have on our bench, along to go with our starters of James Cook and Ramondre Stevenson. Uh, maybe I wouldn't mind Jonathan Brooks, Zeke. Blake Corum was just taken. That was another guy that I was just getting ready to say I wouldn't mind taking him. Um, J.K. Dobbins. I mean, injuries the last 3 years. He should have He's gonna be splitting carries with Gus Edwards. Man, Zeke was taken. Okay, so I don't have to worry about Zeke anymore because again, he's a guy that I thought might be getting us some touchdowns. Uh, Pittsburgh defense taken. We got Khalil Herbert still here. Antonio Gibson, Tyler Algier. Who knows? I'm just trying to see if there's anybody down here. that might have themselves a good year. Tyrone Tracy might end up being a guy. Um, Jonathan Brooks was taken, so I don't have to worry about that option anymore. Rico, Chuba, Ty Chandler. Yeah, so I'm gonna go with J.K. Dobbins. As long as J.K. Dobbins is still there, yeah, and we're gonna go ahead and draft him. J.K. Dobbins with the 146th pick. Yeah. So there's our team. We have our team all set. Let's see here. Let's take a look here, guys. Justin Herbert, Drake London, Debo Samuel, James Cook, Ramondre Stevenson, Jake Ferguson, Keenan Allen, Javonte Williams, Christian Watson, Zach Moss, Jamison Williams, Matt Stafford, J.K. Dobbins. Kicker is Jake Bates, and the Baltimore defense. Isaiah Likely with the 148th pick. I like that pick. I really like Isaiah Likely. I think they're going to do a lot more two tight end sets to work him in there because he's been so good. And if Mark Andrews goes down, he's going to ball. He will ball out. Him and Lamar really connected a lot last year. Yeah, I like that pick at 148 for sure. We got 2 picks left in this draft, but overall I feel good about this team. I really do. Getting Justin Herbert so late. Drake London sitting there for me in the 3rd round. Love that. Then following that up with Debo Samuel in the 4th round. A nice two nice wide receivers to go with my starters. James Cook and Ramondre Stevenson. I like James Cook another year in that offense, being more comfortable. Keon Coleman goes with the 149th pick. That's a guy who could be a top tier wide receiver. He really could. You don't know who that guy is going to be for Josh Allen this year. It could be Keon Coleman. As we wait for the last pick to go off the board, which will go off the board here in about 40 seconds, and it's gone. Young Ho Koo is off the board. The draft is complete. Here's our team: Justin Herbert, Drake London, Debo Samuel, James Cook, Ramondre Stevenson, Jake Ferguson, Keenan Allen, Javonte Williams, Christian Watson, Zach Moss, Jamison Williams, Matt Stafford, J.K. Dobbins, Legatron himself, Jake Bates, and the Baltimore defense. That's our team, guys. Um, pretty excited about the team. You know, going hardcore again. Went kicker, went defense, and let's go from there. See how it goes. Looking forward to it again, guys. I will update you on a weekly basis with that team, as well as any moves that I make, if I'm able to pull any trades, anything like that. But as it stands right now, I'm happy with the team that I got. But I will always be looking to improve it for sure. For sure. But thank you guys so much for watching. I definitely appreciate it. If you would do me a favor, hit that like, subscribe, comment, follow, all that fun stuff. Share the show, tell a friend. Thank you guys for watching. As always, I'm Alan. I'll talk to you guys later. Deuces.